thank a bunch of our coaches for coming in. So Dave for coming back.
Yes.
Coach Justin for coming in.
Rookie.
And Coach Kyle for last minute just jumping in, not even knowing what was going on. So it's great. It's great you guys are here. Actually, I wanted to talk about a couple of things and just pick your brains for some of the athletes. Is after the Open's over, a lot of people kind of struggle on what to do, right? And I almost feel like we get through the Open, and it's been a little while since the last podcast, and a lot's been going on. But then people kind of don't know what to do with their training, right? And there's the good and the bad of the Open, right? The Open's great, but in a lot of ways, it almost like fatigues people to a point where they're like, okay, now what do I do, right? And you guys have all been around long enough where you've been through several Opens. How many Opens have you done?
A lot, right? 6, 5, something like that since 12.
Justin, do you know?
12. I've been doing it since 12.
6.
I have one less than him.
All right.
So 5.
So 5.
Half a decade
all
of
right,
Opens.
so, I mean, you guys have done it at all different levels, right? So when you come out of the Open, now we've had several weeks, kind of everybody's back to a normal schedule.
Sure.
But what do you do with your training from there?
Want to go, Honcho? I know you're dying to say something. And you're the more experienced one.
I think it depends how you feel. Because I've had times where I took a week off after the Open because I was like a little hurt, pushed through it, did workouts twice. This year I did workouts once. I felt fine. I just another week as usual. But I didn't train as hard as I did in the past.
Yeah, it was a different year for you.
So it just depends. Everyone's different.
Well, if we're looking at the typical day-to-day athlete, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have trained at all different levels, so we're not quite talking at the most competitive athlete level. We're looking at like, hey, look, want to do the Open, test where I'm at, and now what do I do? The Open's over. Do I keep training hard? That's kind of hard because you don't have that target. So how do I stay motivated? How do I keep moving?
I mean, the great thing about our gym is that like we have weekly benchmarks, right? So you can kind of still get a taste of the Open.
Yeah.
And I would say when I was newer into CrossFit, I was actually more stoked after the Open. I didn't want to back off. The only time that I needed to do the purge was when we were doing like it twice a week and we were trying to get somewhere.
I think
Totally.
the Open is a good like diagnostic test. Like,
Sure.
It'll show you what you're weak at, and then if I'm weak at something specifically, like double unders, then I'm training. That's my goal. That's the Open's over. My next goal for next. It doesn't have to be for the next Open, but it has to be, hey, I stuck at this.
No.
I'm going to train that, and I'm going to do
That's perfect.
whatever, even if...
I made like a hit list after one of the Opens, like a WOD hit list. There was that one, I think it was thrusters and double unders or something, and I like ate shit. It was the last workout of some year, and I was like, this is on the hit list. And I just kept training that and training it and training it. And that was cool because, like he said, it's a diagnostics. I sucked at it, and then by the end of the summer, I was better. You know?
That's the funny part is because every year, obviously, we all know that like something comes up like muscle ups or something, and everybody's like, all right, I want to do a muscle up.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what have you done to get a muscle up, right? So what I like about about the Open is I look at it as a gym and say, okay, where are we and where do we need to be to make this better and how do we get there? So like today, coincidentally, we did muscle ups in the workout, right? So a lot of people are like, oh man, muscle up progressions. But progressions get you where you want to be. It's not realistic to get to the Open and say, hey, look, I haven't done anything to work for a muscle up. I saw something on it. I saw something on.
Let the spirit of the Open play you through. You didn't hear Dave Castro?
They'll just end up on top of the rings.
Yeah, well, you know what? And the thing is if you go on social media, you see that happening, right? So you see people being like, yes, just got my first muscle up. And it looks like somebody's going to die, right? I mean, like there's a shoulder over here. And what you don't see after it is what happened to that person afterwards because they don't have the strength. So like I saw a funny thing on Instagram the other day. Well, it was during the Open. And it's like, what was it? It was something like athlete comes to you, says, I don't have ring dips, I don't have pull-ups, but I want to muscle up. And it's like a mind-melting moment, because you're like, you want everybody to succeed, but it's like we all have to put in the work. I think they see some of you guys, doing things, and they don't understand what the process looked like to get there. So it's very easy to look and say, man, that's so easy.
Yeah.
And, honestly, like, let's call it what it is. I mean, the muscle up, if we're talking about it, it's like a party trick, right?
Sure.
I mean, once you learn it, it's not all you built it up to be. And I would much rather see somebody that was well-rounded and, had a good run, was good on the rower, could lift like decent weight, nothing crazy, and did some good pull-ups and things like that, has some gymnastics down, but don't have muscle-ups because it's far more impressive to me than like somebody that has no strength,
Yeah.
isn't fast, but man, they can muscle up, right? That
was me for a long time.
Yeah, but it's probably a lot of people because like once you get it, and I mean you got it fairly soon, right? You
Yeah, it's about recklessness and not caring.
How long do you think it took you to get them?
I don't want to sound like a dick.
No,
but
go ahead. You can.
I basically believe that I
You're
did
like
it.
the co-host, so you can say.
I think
anything
I
you
did
want.
it the first time that I tried.
All right,
There's-
now you.
But that's
are
because
being
I
a
don't
dick.
care. That's what it's more about, and I think that's what training gets you to. Is that sooner or later you're like, oh, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
That's
and,
like-
and we've had people like that. We've all seen people just walk in and blow out a muscle up, and we're all kind of like, well,
Yeah.
just because you
And
did
do
doesn't mean
strength.
you should, right? What about you?
It took me probably like a year. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, but before that's what no one.
Nobody was
it's
doing it.
different,
There was like
yeah.
maybe 2 people in the gym when he started. Like I would literally program muscle ups, and there was 2 people like Brody and maybe one other person that could do it, and that was it.
It's like
So-
the 4-minute mile too. Like when you see other people, like no one did it for a while. Then when someone did it, everyone did it. It was the same. It's kind of
Like
like
shatters the
when you have someone
reality
that
of
can
it.
do it and can teach.
Totally.
We were all new. We were. It was like a party trick after
Yeah.
the workout. You did nothing
No,
to do it.
no,
But when you were
just-
tired, you were shot. And you're like, let's.
We didn't have the
mess around with
tools
these-
then
yeah,
either. We didn't have the
right.
progressions. We
Yeah.
didn't have all that we have now.
That's like,
and that's a big part of it,
What I
right?
said, like it took me a while to get good at everything, but athletes that are coming in now, even if they aren't athletes,
Oh, it's
pick
crazy.
up things so much quicker because the coaching,
definitely.
the programming, everything has improved so much.
I'm not gonna lie, I get a little jealous
from the beginning. Yeah,
because like I look, and I'm not lying. It took me 2 years to learn double unders.
Yeah.
Because
Me too.
I
I-
nobody to teach me. 2
I
years.
literally didn't get double unders until probably being here for after a year.
I
And
bought my own.
That's 3
Yeah.
years into CrossFit.
Wow.
I just couldn't. It just didn't click. And
But now
then-
you see people, and like I literally have seen people be like, "What's a double under?" And then by the end of class, they're doing a double under, and like I'm very happy for them. But part of me wants to like not be happy for them, be pissed, be like, "Wow, you suck because you just picked that up in 5 minutes. It took me 2 years." But that's the cool part is it's like you said. When you see other people doing things so easily, it like builds confidence, and it also I like to think that we evolved as a gym that we can teach these things easier. So when we see somebody suffering, like you're all coaches, you could be like, all right, I know what's wrong, do this, and
Yeah.
then you're like, oh,
can
cool.
identify it.
Where like before, like I remember being like problem solving every modality, being like, I don't know, let me see, try this, try that. So like y'all were kind of guinea pigs over the years, but you know that's kind of what got us to where we are. But I mean, you know, that's the part that's really cool now.
Yeah.
But with that said, when you look at something like a muscle up, it's not just the fact that it's a strange movement, but it's about getting the strength that you really need to do it safely.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I remember I got muscle ups. I got because I bought my own set of rings and
Oh,
I put
nice.
it on my trees
Tree.
in my
Oh my
backyard.
Did the tree muscle up?
And I remember
That's
like
primal.
like bragging with I had my friends over bragging, and I did it like just showing them 1, 2,
Right.
3, and I couldn't bend my arms by the end of the day. Like I learned quick that's dude, it can mess you up. Like,
Yes.
and I wasn't like chicken wing, but just doing
Just by
the
doing them and not
transfer,
having the
I was
strength
Like, I
yet.
was like this, like reptile.
Well, I remember Carl. I hate to bring it to
Really
Carl,
is
but he
no.
like did this thing like, okay,
Carl
for
who?
a pistol, Carl Paoli.
Right, so
If-
he's a
to have a
gymnastic
pistol,
coach, if you
you
don't
have
know.
to have X amount
Yes.
of a back squat of your body weight, and
Yeah.
you have to be able to balance on this foot for.
Yes.
And like that should be the same thing with muscle ups. You should have a strict pull up.
You should.
You should be able to do like 10 ring dips in a row.
Well, if you can't ring dip, what are you going to do when you get up there?
We've seen that before.
And that's the biggest heartbreaking thing is when you see somebody actually get on top of
Yeah.
the rings, you're like, press out, and they're like, I can't.
You
And
gotta-
we're like, ah!
You gotta
know,
have
it's
a
like-
ring dip where you're like not.
It's got to be the
setting up, you have to
lowest,
be like-
worst ring dip
Yeah,
you've
right.
ever done because you know that first catch, you're going to be like underwater. And we don't practice that way typically. Most people practice here. So, like, that's not where you catch. And that's what is funny because we talked about that today when I was coaching is you have to practice the way you're really going to catch. You're going to catch low. You're not going to be in a great position. Then you're going to have to somehow get in the right position to get on top of the ring.
I have like the 2 ways I do my muscle up. It's I know I'm going to catch a little high.
Yeah.
Just kip, and then I know I'm going to my last one. I always
It's
bottom
out.
and I breathe and I just kick my legs up and I float up like I have a different kip
Whoa.
for that
See,
bottom
like,
position.
For me, like I'm still
Yeah,
chasing
that's
that
what I wanna-
elusive muscle up. Like I got bar muscle ups, not this past open, but the open before that. I
Right.
literally got a bar muscle up like the night before they announced bar muscle ups.
I remember.
And this year I got on the rings and I was super close. And it was one of those things like you sent me the video afterwards, and it was just like a couple simple things that I would need to work on. And I should have it, but it's a motivator.
Yeah.
It's not like
Totally.
I feel like a lot of people look at it as a failure. You can't look at it as a failure.
No.
You tried. Now you have to get to that point where you can get yourself better so you can actually get it.
And it's like a process, right? I mean, like every piece, like you have to get better, but you have to know where you're falling short. Because everybody falls short at different places. It's not like we all have the same problem.
There's no, I don't think, like, if you're here and you're working, like, there's no failure. If the only failure is when you pack it up and you don't, you stop working out. Or
when you fail, you truly begin.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
It's
nice.
like you get better each day. You learn something, even if you didn't get muscle ups. You learn, like, but
It's
hey,
the
like,
virtuosity piece of this,
Yes.
which I think is the hardest part to learn, because most people come from a background where they go to the gym, they put their earbuds in, and they just get a burn, dog.
So,
you know,
for people that don't know, anybody want to explain what that virtuosity means? Because, like, it's hammered into us as coaches.
yeah, I want to see Justin tackle
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
Kyle,
Justin,
show.
go ahead. What's virtuosity in your CrossFit?
What do you mean virtuosity?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like,
He's
what
so
do
mad
mean
at you
by-
right now.
No, just like, enjoying training and like going through like the process.
I think the way Glassman put it is it's doing the average exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if you have pull-ups, right? Okay, great. You have pull-ups, but you're chasing this, constantly refining, constantly retooling. How can I get better and move better and move better? So there's this theory in CrossFit that's basically just because you have something doesn't mean you have it. You should be chasing the excellence of
And that's
it.
what, like, when you see the games athletes and they're all broken,
Yes.
swinging their like legs are bending their arms. It's not the correct way, but they're freaks.
No, they're
Then
freaks,
you-
and they're also
yeah.
going for something that the average person isn't going for. They're going for absolute speed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
sometimes, and there's a trade-off for that, right? I mean, when you give up technique, they might get injured. Maybe we would get injured and they don't because they have more strength or whatever. I don't know, but those positions are proven over time not to be good.
But
for
they're
you.
performing.
Yes,
That like
totally.
training, I bet you they don't look like that.
No, probably
you know,
not at all.
And they're pushing the limits of physical,
Completely.
their physical boundaries of human capacity.
Probably with any sport, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just like the same.
The important part with like virtuosity with CrossFit is we're not specific. We're not doing Olympic lifting. We're not doing gymnastics.
We're not specializing.
So we have to practice those movements so we continue to build that base and become better and better and better. And we have to work a little bit harder because we're a little bit more broad than we're not so centralized.
But the benefits of it are crazy. Like
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
this fitness girl, and she was at like the famous Gold's Gym. She's like, I had to do a pull up on the pull up bar at Gold's Gym, and this is a girl with like 10,000 followers. She's a fitness model. I always see her on the
She must be
machines.
important if she has 10,000
But
followers.
she could barely eke out like a pull up. And I was like, what's that? Like, like.
So I mean, what is your true fitness, right? So and not saying that somebody that doesn't have a pulp isn't fit, just saying
No.
if you're going to say that you're a fitness guru, you would like to be well-rounded. And that's the cool thing about CrossFit too, is that it's functional movement, right? And she might have some crazy bench press or something.
Sure.
For all I know, who knows? But it's like you need to be well-rounded.
Yeah. Yeah, just like me, it wasn't enough for me to just have a muscle up. So through time, like I've had to really train like weightlifting. Like it's great that I could do gymnastics. That's another thing with the open. Like again, it shows your weakness. Like I love coming in and swinging on shit, but like I really have to lift stuff.
You need to lift weight. Yeah.
What?
You're okay. I haven't explicit on it. You're okay.
Well, really, they can't.
When
You
you
could curse.
open, I feel like for the person that's coming to the gym doing the WODs, they're not looking at this as like a competitive thing. They're looking for more of a lifestyle change and to be fit and stuff like that, and just get that longevity out of their life. I feel like the open for them is more of a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's
It's mental,
even
all right.
mentally taxing.
Oh my God, is it
That's
mental?
What people have to get through is they can't let those 5 weeks beat them up and then come out of it and then feel like, oh my God, I'm really let down on myself. You have to bring yourself back up and be like, I just completed 5 weeks of very tough workouts and I'm going to come back around and I'm just going to start hitting my regular workouts again.
I see it like a test for each athlete, right? So like we've gone through a lot with the open, looking at it different ways, and the way I've come to look at it is it's an assessment. Just like we do benchmarks all the time. It's like, okay, where are you now and where do you want to be? So you look at this year and you say, all right, this is where I am. Say I scaled 3 workouts. Next year I want to scale 2, right? Or next year I want, maybe you don't have muscle ups, but maybe you haven't put in the work, but maybe you want to work your pull-ups or whatever. But it does a great job of exposing your weakness, but then it's what do you do with it, right?
Yeah.
And you can either get discouraged or you can work and say, now I have a really clear path. I know what I need to do to be more well-rounded. And I think, luckily, that's where I see our gym. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really see anything else, so that's really cool. And I think also this year, our format, I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I thought it was our best format with the teams and all.
It was
Oh, that was great.
best.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
I mean,
It
by
may have
far.
put the focus on something other than yourself.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't like individual sports as a kid, or like wrestling and stuff, because like it was
Big
just
wrestler.
about you. You know, I like being part of a team, and CrossFit you can kind of get lost in that. I always enjoyed when we were competitive and we were working towards being a team.
Oh, that was awesome.
Like even the team series, like that's where I really fit in.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I agree.
And it kind of brought that feel, like, you know, you were working for your team, even if you didn't put your scores in every time, you know?
Yeah, the most fun
yeah.
I've had at competitions is doing it like with the team. And
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
Like that. The competition I ever did was with Karen, and it was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I
yeah.
had so much fun.
It's so much better because the focus isn't on one person.
Yeah.
I mean, individual is hardcore. And if you listen to a games athlete, when they go from individual to team, they're like, it's almost like this huge weight is lifted off of them.
Yeah.
They still are incredible, and their teams are incredible, and there's a lot of pressure, but it's not one person under the spotlight.
Oh, did you see that video I sent you? The worm wall ball thing?
No.
They have...
You sure you sent it to me?
Yeah. I tagged you on Instagram.
all right.
Yeah, did you guys see it?
Yeah.
They have, like, the worm... And the team has to do a
No,
has
they
to throw
threw
it
the
to the
worm?
wall and then
That
catch
sounds
it.
like-
It was cool, and then
Really?
it started going like this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like-
So many
Did you
ideas.
see it?
No, but I could picture it.
It looks cool. Sorry, I didn't
That
mean
sounds
to.
treacherous. Like
It
somebody's
does.
going to get jacked
Sounds
up real
fucking
bad.
terrible.
Like, I'm
But
sure it's a different type of worm. It's probably soft and stuff like that. But it was.
Was it just like the one
it
you used
looked
at
like the worm to me, man. But I thought that was cool.
I'm
But
a little wormed out, to be honest with you. At the games, I mean, it's been like, I'm ready for...
the coolest thing that I remember that year that we went, they had that pirate ship that they all had to push.
Oh, yeah.
Like
That was like
this-
a one-time thing.
Oh, it was like the mega yoke.
It was like, it was a sled,
Dude.
but it was like 6 people had to push it to
amazing.
move it.
Captain Morgan
Oh,
was responsible.
I remember.
Seriously.
Kind of.
it
It
was-
had like sidebars, and it was like pushing a car with no
What
wheels.
did they call that thing? They had a name.
I don't know.
They always
Pig.
name them
They-
something.
One of them was the
The
pig.
pig was the flipping
That was a
Yeah.
thing.
I tried to do that. You remember that? I failed.
Oh,
so
yeah, when
ter-
we went to the Rogue Tank.
Yeah, I failed so terribly at that. There was like 45-year-old guys just flipping him like, ah! Like the sword in the stone. I couldn't get it off the ground. It was terrible. Me and Dan Tominski. That you
Yes,
remember
yes.
him? Yeah, he
Oh,
hit the
of
wall
course.
with that. Yeah, but no, I really liked the team element that we did this year. It was
yeah,
just
100%.
it put the pressure off a little bit, and like there was camaraderie. I met people and worked out with people that I never would have before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no.
it was really cool.
I loved it. I think that's our new format for sure.
Let's do it.
So, what about like? I want to talk about Murph a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, you all have done Murph.
My favorite.
So, like just today, several people were talking to me, and we do Murph the weekend of Memorial Day weekend, but we do it on that Sunday. So, if you guys are looking for when we do it and trying to plan your schedule, Murph's a tradition with us now for a long time. I mean, going back to our first place, where now we've been around 11, going on 12 years, I guess.
Damn.
And I remember doing Murph in Point Pleasant, and we would use the park across the street from the first place, and that would be the mile. And then you'd come in and you'd do pull-ups on a bar that we had. It was a 2-inch bar was our pull-up bar, and it was into the side of a I-beam, and you couldn't have 2 people on it because it would like almost come off the wall. So it was like me, Dan Seibel, I think Dan and Dario. Yeah, Dario
Dan
too.
was there.
And like Marty and like people like that, and it was crazy. So I mean, Murph has an old tradition, and it's just grown and grown over the years. So now it's like, I mean, last year year before we had like 78. Last year we had over 80. I want to say almost 90 people do Murph, which was crazy. But the gym is such a size that we can now do it and blow people out fast. But what is Murph for people that don't know, and how would you guys recommend to address Murph? Would you say do the full, do a half, do it with a team first? What is Murph?
It's a trap, right?
I want to know what Murph is. I want to know who. Justin, why don't you tell us what Murph is?
Starts
Let's
with
see.
a mile run.
Starts with a mile run.
Okay, and
As written,
as written, that's fine.
I just can't remember what. Is this mile run?
Then
Oh, really?
pull-ups,
Is it the
100
pull-ups
pull-
200
200 push-ups.
push-ups,
Worst part.
300 air squats.
And then another mile.
and then another mile?
Add weight if you'd like to.
Yeah, with the vest.
With a vest, if you want to.
If
So
you've done it before.
now, back in the day, we would never partition, right? So it was straight through, no matter what. You would do mile run, 100 pull-ups in that order, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, mile run. we've changed that. As I get older, I'm softening up in my old age. So it's like we've definitely changed that. We've made it more doable because a lot of people couldn't do that. And it was honestly a bad idea, in my opinion, for a lot of people. Not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying it's not the best idea for everybody.
Partitioning it like Cindy makes it more accessible.
So partitioning is so much better. I mean, we're looking at, if you did it like Cindy, most people do 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats, right? And you do that through all your rounds until you're up to number.
Yeah, 10, 20, 30, 1 year.
Of course you did. You had to change it up a little bit.
I'm go back to 5, 10, 15.
Go back to 5,
Those
10,
push-ups
15.
get old real quick.
Push-ups are the worst part, I think.
It's the worst part. Easiest.
I
Easily
actually
the
look
worst
forward to the pull-ups. The push-ups are the worst part.
Pull-ups are the best part.
The air squats hurt me
stink.
because of the run, but
It's just a lot of them,
Yeah,
but the
it's just a
push-ups,
lot. But the
you get to a
push-ups, I
point where you're
fail.
like, I can't do it
no,
anymore.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have, like, I could do a lot of stuff, but push-ups, I think because of my shoulder, because it's fake, it's like I can't
Yeah,
do
you-
push-ups.
Really quick.
Yeah, Coach has zombie parts in him.
Yes.
Cadaver, right?
Cadaver, yeah. My whole shoulder is all cadaver. It is.
That's so crazy. Isn't it like a heel cord or something like that?
I don't know. See, they don't tell you what they put in you until it's over. So it's like I had surgery,
Oh,
and
man.
then afterwards, this is how I found CrossFit, right? So afterwards, I asked the doctor. I said, "Hey," he's like, "Oh, okay, we put all new parts in you." So I was laying there, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Then like my wheels started turning. I'm like, "Well, where did he get the parts from?" Right?
Just had,
So
like, buckets
so
in
then I'm
there.
like, "Oh, maybe they're like synthetic, right?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, what do you use?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's all cadaver." And I'm like, "Oh." So like, I don't know about you, but like all of a sudden, like you just like somebody's parts are in my parts. now.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of does something to you at the time. It's a little creepy,
We were
right?
yeah.
So then I'm thinking, oh, it's like 110. He's like, oh no, this is all cadaver. Like, and I'm like, oh man. So like, so if anybody's old enough, there's this movie called Body Parts.
Yeah.
Right? I tell you about this all the time. But there's this movie, I think it's from the 80s, but basically it's like this horror movie where what they do is this guy, he goes to jail. He's like a murderer. And then what they do is they take his parts and he donates them and they put them into like good people. But then whatever they put into you becomes evil.
Yeah.
Idle hands.
Yeah, and or like that episode of Rick and Morty where he gets the
remember
guys
The
on.
sentient one.
Yeah, to bring it into the
Idle
century.
Hands with,
Yeah.
like Seth Green, Idle Hands.
No,
Sorry, bro.
I don't know
They
that
must
one.
have remade it with like 90s. Like,
Probably.
Yeah, they
Generation
must
X
have,
style.
Justin.
Oh, it was amazing though. So everybody that had his parts went around and killed people with those parts. Like if you had a bad foot, I guess you'd like kick somebody to death.
Yeah.
I don't remember the details.
Go trip people into traffic.
So
Yeah.
I'm always like, I hope it was a good person because you never know.
But that is crazy that you have. I'm sorry. We were talking about something.
Yeah.
Forgot
No,
what we
well,
talking
actually,
about
Murph, all right.
well, we're going back to Murph. Well, it was the push-ups. I think that put us.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
right-
yeah.
Well, if you do it, unpartition, and
If you
first
do it
time Murph,
unpartitioned.
you might have to need like a dead guy.
You might need a dead
cadaver
guy's
in your arm
shoulders.
after.
I don't even know who it was. But anyway, I don't think I want to know.
You don't have
Probably
like
better
you don't
to
have
know.
memories like weird
Yeah.
memories.
Well, that
Phantom
was the other
shoulder.
thing is in the movie they
Yeah.
had memories of the killers,
Makes sense.
right?
You don't wake up at night and be like,
I don't know. I feel like I did change back in 2005.
Oh,
so I
man.
mean, what happened? 2004 it happened. I started CrossFit in 05 because basically the doctor said I'd never be able to lift anything in that arm over like 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Like I'd never be able to use it for much. So I was like freaked out. So I kept trying all the stupid stuff I could find, and then I came across CrossFit online, and they were only doing like military and like first responders, and I was like, try this. That's it.
now you lift more than 5 pounds over your head,
Yeah, I
right?
could do a little more than 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Depends on the day, but anyway, yeah, push-ups are hard for old whoever this is in my shoulder.
Yeah,
He
Danny.
doesn't like that.
Oh, Danny.
Danny,
I don't know
what's
why.
gonna be Danny?
Sorry, Danny. Sorry, Danny.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, but you
Shane to
should-
my shoulder.
Yeah, you.
Shan shoulder.
Shane
My
shoulder. Ooh, that's good.
Shan shoulder. Take the strong hand.
So yeah, if I can have all these cadaver parts and do stuff, then everybody else can do stuff too. But
Yeah.
also, when they did it, I thought they were going to put like a couple little holes, Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, you can put it. And they said, oh no, we're going to cut you all the way open. So they cut me from here to there, all the way across.
I don't see it. Do you have a tattoo on top
I
of that?
tattooed
All
on
right,
it.
okay.
Then they put screws in there to hold it all together, but then I bent the screws. So then I had to go back in and take the screws out.
Because you just can't chill.
I couldn't chill.
You couldn't chill. It's okay.
They said, oh, something's not right. Let's check it out. And they x-rayed, and I like bent a screw. I used to carry it around with me, but I lost it.
Bend screw. Be like, yo.
It was pretty gnarly. It
I
was like
could
that
only
big,
imagine.
and it was hollow. It had like Allen head and everything.
Did it like trigger like metal detectors?
No, well, I didn't last that long. I was like back training like in 11 weeks after surgery.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You did CrossFit before or after that?
After.
After, okay.
And then it's the main site did a spotlight on you, right?
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can still find that?
It came out. Yeah, you can still
In
find
the
it.
archives.
It's still out there. They
Beardless,
Yeah,
right?
beardless.
Post
Yes.
to the Facebook group.
Yeah, they came out and did an interview with me about it, which was interesting. It's very cool.
Great.
Last thing main site did for you ever?
Maybe.
Get on
I
it.
love main site. No,
I
they're
would.
cool.
I would not do.
I got like a congratulations at 10 years. So
Did you really?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
they gave you like a cake or a watch or
no,
something?
no, they just contacted me. And
Watch.
said, they basically said, "We know you don't think we notice, but we do notice." It was like literally just like
Was
that,
it
which
from
is cool.
someone, or
yeah,
was it-
no, it was
okay.
somebody.
Oh, cool.
And they're like, "Hey, if you have any cool stories, let us know." So I told them some cool stories, and they're like, "All right, later." And I guess I'm not interested.
Cool story,
anymore.
bro.
Cool story later. See you at the 20.
You mean you're not a fitness model? Ah, screw
Alright,
you.
Sorry,
You're
my
out.
Instagram's not that good. So anyway, for Murph,
Oh, that's right.
you're like, where?
Bring it back around.
So for Murph, I had a couple of people today say, well, how do I train for Murph? All right, so you're all coaches. You have one of our great athletes come up to you, and they say, hey, I've never done Murph, don't know what it's about. How do I train for it?
Two pieces.
What's your advice?
Two pieces of it, right? You got Cindy. It's a good.
So we got about a month,
Yeah.
right? We got about a month to Murph, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be to somebody? First of all, what would your advice be to someone that's never done it before? What should they do? And then how should they train for it extra, or what do you think?
I would say
You got it,
if you've
bro.
never done it before and you're not like if you've never done it before, you're not like a freak athlete.
He doesn't like to talk into the
If
microphone.
you're not new,
Like leans back.
definitely do it with a partner.
Out of frame.
I mean,
Yeah.
definitely do it with a partner. If you don't have a solid, I don't know, 5 pull-ups unbroken, 10 pull-ups unbroken, do it with a partner, and then you could definitely train for it. I think easiest thing to train for is do push-ups.
Yeah,
I mean, pull-ups.
that's good advice.
You should practice pull-ups, but
So
push-ups
like,
are
how do
easy.
I
You
how
can
do I
it
do
at your
push-ups?
house.
Like, what does that look like? I mean, how many should I do? Should I just bust out 50 every morning?
Just
or?
do 200 in a row.
Like what? What should I
Start.
do?
You start ahead of time and you work yourself up. You don't start like going crazy out of the bat. You hit like a certain amount and then you start to build on that and build on that.
Tabatas.
Yeah,
Great
Tabatas,
way,
that's
right?
good
Great way to
advice.
hit it.
Tabata. So like 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. I just do as many as I can, and then rest. Maybe
Then you have
do
a
that.
good baseline for the workout. You say, "Oh, I know I could do like 10 in
Yeah.
20 seconds," and then you just do that until you get to 200.
So the cool part is that you can do it with a partner. And what we try to do is like, we've gone very far. Like years ago, Murph was like, I don't know. I felt like it was a blood oath. It was like, it was hardcore. Now, I like to think of it as it's just fun, right? And I mean, we try and celebrate. We try and honor Michael Murphy. We try and honor just Memorial Day. It's a cool thing. But like we try and make it fun. Like my whole thing now is like, if it's not fun, why do it? So doing it with a partner is actually super cool because we could do all kind of scaling options. You could run the mile together, come back, and then break it up, or you could do 800 meters each or whatever. So like we really don't limit what you guys can do. But let's say that I've never done it before. I want to do a full Murph. Somebody said that to me tonight. They said, I want to do a full Murph. I want to do a solo. I want to go by myself. What's your advice?
Why?
That's good.
No, but why? Like, why do you want to do it? Is it if it's like,
Is there a reason?
what is the reason? Yeah, if it's, I mean,
Some
you gotta
people,
check. With Murph though, people get it's worse than the Open. People get real. They want to honor.
You got to check the
Yeah.
product
Yeah.
before
Honor.
too.
Like,
And
honor veteran
I
things.
appreciate
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. But you
there's
have to look out. Like it's my job to look out for everybody here. So, like I kind of have to tamp that down and say, well, like you said, like why do you want to do that? Like what's your goal here? And is just because something sounds really good, it's not necessarily a good thing. When you look at the volume of this, like as a programmer, you're looking at 2 miles, right there. Okay, if you're a runner, no big deal. 300 air squats, 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, right? That is a tremendous amount of volume for any one person, and it's not necessarily the best thing for people. Hero workouts, if you notice, we do a little less hero workouts than we used to, right? Because, and we've done almost all of them.
yeah,
Some of them just should not be done by everybody,
general public.
right? For people that are super competitive, that have years of training and are like adapt to doing this kind of volume, yeah, totally. Even then, some of them probably just shouldn't be done. And I mean, as much as I'd like to honor, they shouldn't be done RX, maybe scaled, right? Murph is a monster workout, all right? So scaling it or reducing reps or doing it with a partner, all good stuff, so you just have a fun day. What if I want to wear a vest?
Me personally,
Who's worn a vest? All of you?
I have not.
You haven't. So I know you guys have. You haven't done it with a vest yet?
No.
I did it once with a vest, and I had the worst vest in the world. It was an old school vest, so like when they were made out of bags.
Yeah.
Like y'all will have these fancy
I don't
vests. They
have
look
a
like
fan.
they're
You
Gucci
see what I
or
wear.
something.
You
It's
see
like,
what I wear. I have like
yours is fancier than mine was.
oh my god.
You had a fancy vest, right?
It's Cybals.
That's a nice one.
Yeah,
Mine
it's
used
nice.
to, every time you ran, it would just beat
Well,
you down, and no matter how tight you made it,
does.
then if you made it too tight, you couldn't breathe at all.
Yeah.
So it was like, now I see the
it's
ones,
hot.
they look like
And it
shirts.
gets hot out.
Yeah, it is
You know?
Memorial Day.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day. So I mean, it's definitely, and I get the wanting to wear the vest, right? This original workout was called Body Armor. I don't
Oh,
know if you
really?
know.
No,
So
I did not
Michael
know that.
Murphy, when he made it, he used to call it Body Armor.
Oh,
So that was the original workout. He made it.
okay.
So it's a workout he would do before, just to stay ready. Then when CrossFit found out about it after he passed, they named it Murph, but it was actually called Body Armor. He would do it with his plates in, right?
Oh,
So he
yeah.
would do it in a vest.
Okay.
Not a weighted vest. He would do it in his plates. So that's the symbolism of it. And that's why I think a lot of people want to honor that. But again, what does it feel like when you wear a vest and you do Murph? How is it different?
It's 100%. I mean,
It's
I
harder.
mean, other than it being hotter,
it's heavier.
we know it's heavier.
it's
can't
so much
breathe.
more wear and tear on
breathe.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's like like,
What would you say the worst part of the vest is?
It's going to be the push-ups.
That's not the last run. I think.
The last run?
That's usually
Sure.
What do you
if-
think?
If you haven't trained it out, I think it's pull-ups, man. You don't
Yeah,
know.
you run in a vest all the time.
Yeah, you don't know how to do pull-ups with the vest on unless
No.
you train it out.
And don't you move a little differently
Oh, of
when
course
you
you
wear the
do.
vest?
It's like your body weight and then the vest coming down on you. That's
So, like,
real
if
bad.
you have a nice kip, that all kind of goes away, and it becomes some other thing.
You're not doing butterfly pull-ups with the vest on unless
No,
you're
I
really,
couldn't.
really, really good at them.
Oh,
right, okay.
all right.
All right, I can't do it that well.
Well, it throws off your timing.
100%.
Right? So, I mean, what we're talking about is not just wearing a vest, but trying to find the right way to do the workout so that everybody gets a good workout in, right? We didn't really touch upon, should you train for Murph? Should you not train for
Yeah,
Murph?
what would you recommend training?
I know what the answer is, but I'm asking you guys.
I think the answer is like maybe you just train more and do more of like the wads and stuff like that. I don't think you necessarily need to make it like the Super Bowl of your life. If you just train more and you train more vigorously, you will be more prepared for it. You don't need to strap on the vest and go run for 4 miles to prepare for Murph.
So-
it actually might work
Yeah.
counterintuitively,
right?
right?
Yeah.
If you're like training with the vest with all this, you might almost hurt yourself.
Well, who brought up specializing, right? Was
Yeah.
it you, Kyle? Right? So, I mean, now you've become a specialist.
Yep.
And you've gotten really good for training for Murph, which, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Any advice?
For me personally, I've never completed Murph by myself. I've never felt that I was in a spot where I felt that was a wise choice for me. And now I do it with Michelle, and I feel like it's our thing for us to honor
That's so cool.
Mike Murphy. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we do. Like, I was talking to her earlier, and it was a couple days ago. We were actually talking about Murph, and I was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I was like, "Do you want to do what we've been doing? Because we've done it the past 2 years together." First year, she died a little bit on me, and I was doing 2 rounds for her every 1 round, but that was fine. I was able to do it, and then on the last run, we just stuck together and then just went. And then this past Murph, we went round for round.
That's awesome.
So she had vast improvement from year to year. So now this year we're going to do it again. I'm contemplating possibly wearing a vest and doing it with her. I haven't decided yet, but we're definitely going to continue to do it together because it's like our thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you know that it's an intimidating workout, like you look at it, you're like, that's a lot. You should find somebody that you're like, okay, we can work together. We're going to hang tight with each other on the run. We're going to hang tight with each other on the movements. You're going to do a round. I'm going to sit there and hang out, cheer you on. You're going to drop down. I'm going to hit the next round, and we're just going to go, and we're going to get this done together.
Yeah, I think that's great advice.
Yeah, but like 30% of the people in the gym are as well adjusted as Kyle. Most people are sadistic. And I know you have a little bit of that in you too. You just like to, you want to hurt. I want to.
A little?
Yeah, a little. I tried to give you some credit,
And
man.
you know what a lot of our people do, right? We all kind of want to.
When we do CrossFit.
We want to see how far we can take
Yeah.
it.
I
Right?
would recommend, I mean, Kyle, I know you said you want to do the vest, but I would recommend do the Murph, like first time doing it, do it with a partner.
Yeah.
If you did it well, you got your pull-ups down. I would do Murph if you want to partition it alone,
Right.
without a vest,
Yeah.
and then bring the vest.
The funny thing is, you can't tell somebody
Yeah, but you can't.
what it feels like to do Murph until you do Murph,
you do it.
right? Once you do it, like when you finish those 300 air squats and you go out on that run, granted your legs come back, but like the first couple of steps, all of a sudden you feel like something's wrong.
Well, how bad is it going to be if you start it and then you have to stop?
Right.
Like,
Right.
because you physically can't do it.
No, man, and
you
that's
know?
not what it's about. It's about having fun. It's about maybe testing yourself a little bit, but within the parameters of where you are right now, not where you want to be. It kind of goes back to the muscle up thing, right? If I'm not running regularly, right, and if I'm not doing a lot of high volume pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats, then I probably shouldn't do Murph solo. And that's all we're saying. Like, we're saying everybody and anybody should participate in this day.
Yeah.
And we should make it. I've had people do quarter Murphs. Like, it's totally appropriate. You're brand new. That's the right thing to do. But I think what we're all trying to say is, like, just be smart, listen to your body, and even in the workout, if you're like, hey, this was a bad idea, like, maybe I shouldn't have done a full, change it to a half, like, no problem. Or if you're with a partner, you're like, this is still a little too hard, we'll go to a quarter. Or somebody could jump in. I've had people jump in and help people out. So, I mean, there's a million things you can do. It's just really about trying to make it fun for everybody.
Yeah.
So one more thing I want to talk to you guys about while we have a little more time is specialty classes.
Specialty.
All right? So we all know that we have all these classes here that are beyond the CrossFit model, right? Some people... Now, we know the specialty classes fill up all the time with all these people taking class, and I love that. But there's a lot of people that have never taken a specialty class. Mm-hmm. What would be your advice? Why should I take a specialty class? What's the benefit? Is there anything to it? Do you guys recommend it? What's your thoughts on it? Why?
Well, like you're talking about rounding the edges of your skill, right? It's hard to do that in a CrossFit workout where you have to do 3 movements that are all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I didn't want to lift, so me being in lift forced me to focus on that for a whole hour by itself, which I would not be able to do in a general purpose walk.
No,
you know?
We would never have the time.
So the one-on-one attention is huge. And working on something that you don't want to or that you have a deficiency in for a whole hour is huge. And you got subject matter experts as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And constantly varied, like strong, row. You're going to get different movements. Even like row. I mean, we do roll up, but you're going to row differently than in a
Oh,
Y.
totally.
It's all different stimuli.
Yeah.
Than
Stimulus or stimuli? Which one is it?
Stimuli.
Is it stimuli?
Stimuli. Yeah, it's good.
With the row, you're definitely looking at a lot of different things. You're looking at different stroke rates. You're looking at sprints versus, like a paddling type deal, and then transitioning off the rower, on the rower. It definitely made me a better rower.
I tell you, people love the rowing class. Like, the rowing classes are crazy, and I love that because I like... which is funny because, like, we've had rowers for years, and I've always been like, oh, that's cool, But until you, like, learn how to row the right way, it's really hard to appreciate it. Yeah. It's kind of hard to see the difference between good rowing and not good rowing and why it's important. But, like, my back used to fire up all the time when I would row for years, and I'd be like, man, my back hurts all the time. Once you learn how to row correctly, like, you realize, like, things don't hurt as bad, and it's like it's not going to put a lot of wear and tear on your body in a bad way. But, like, it's crazy. You know what I saw today?
What?
Have you seen this? This guy invented this rowing... It's like a rowing bike.
No.
I swear to God, I got to find out.
Do you pedal and pull?
Okay, so it looks like... it looks like a bike. Okay, so visualize 2 wheels up front.
Okay.
And 1 wheel in the back.
Tricycle. Okay. Yes.
Kind of like a tricycle, but long.
Okay.
Right?
Long trike.
And this dude's sitting on it, and he's got a handle, and every time he rows, the thing goes. It's got a chain like a bike.
So he's actually moving through time and space?
Yeah. So, and the only way you steer is with your feet. You go like this, side to side. So, like, the video I saw came up on my feed. There's, like, this dude on a bike, and he's, like, pedaling along, and then all of a sudden this thing smokes by him, and it's like this row bike thing. You guys haven't seen it?
Nobody's how much?
Castro hasn't.
How much of a tool does this guy look like, though?
I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a tool.
Right.
If I saw him, I'd be like, "What's wrong with him?" But it's fascinating that somebody invented this thing, and I'm like, you know what? Like for half a second, if you saw it, you'd be like, for half a second, you'd want to try it, but you won't want anybody to see you trying
Sure.
it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's got 3 tires like a bike, but you're on an erg. And you're rowing, so I'm thinking like maybe we get him for the whole gym. You know,
Sure.
we'll all go out on like tracks around town.
We'll do miles.
Yeah,
sure.
would you be down with that?
I guess so. Is there like a side? Is there a sidecar I could ride in or something?
Oh, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah. That's crazy. Do you remember what it was called? Like, it's got to have some awesome name, like the
It's
Road
like,
Shark.
It's like the oh man,
right?
It's like
You
the
know it's got
row-
something like that.
It was something really stupid because they put like row into the name.
The
so it's
rotor
like,
with the W.
the row bike or something. But I'm telling you, I'm going to find it and I'll look it up. See, I always see this dumb stuff. You guys don't see it, but stuff comes up on my feed. I'm going to share it.
I'm into
it. Was
it.
just like the ab talk we had. Remember about the fake abs?
Oh, yeah, you said like the... Yeah.
So it's like, you know...
I was playing around a little bit with that with pictures of my cat, not the abs.
You put
but
abs
something.
on your cat?
What, like Snapchat filters?
Well, yeah, they're like filters, but it's all machine
Dog
learning.
You don't even listen to our podcast, so yes, we had
You
this.
guys made fun of me the whole time. Called
That's
me lemon.
Who called you lemon?
We're all like, around, like,
lemon?
I
give
think
that
somehow-
lemonade is 11 or something.
What are you talking about? What is lemon?
That might have been the wrong
I don't know what it
podcast.
meant. I thought it was an inside joke.
What are you talking about?
Everybody's podcast.
So apparently he's been holding on to this.
You're such a
Justin's been
co-
holding on to this for a while. He's been on air.
I wish I had like.
Look at the tape.
Look at the tape.
You said
We'll
lemon.
look it. All right, we'll
Roll
look
it
it up.
back.
Oh my God,
I feel
lemon.
like that was called a lemon.
Oh man.
Well, it's amazing. I don't even know what we were talking about because now I'm trying to think of why we called him a lemon.
like he's a busted car or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Like,
what I
no.
think it was.
like you look under. That's crazy.
I don't think
man.
you're a busted car.
I think
but-
you're awesome, man. We
Yeah.
just met.
Call me the Carfax. Show me the Carfax. Show me the Carfax. Show me the Carfax.
So anyway, so yeah, they got this rowing bike. So you know.
So you're saying you're gonna have a specialty class for the rowing
No,
bike?
well, no. But I love the rowing classes, and I love how well attended they are. But I mean, like, why like these other classes? I mean, you know,
I feel like I haven't had the chance to take the air bike class, and I really want to because I feel like that's something that people hide from.
Yeah.
you know what Nina said to
do.
me about the air bike class? She said she took one class, and then she said, "I don't know why anybody takes that class."
Yeah.
Class.
It's
Which is funny because you
that's
get
the
people who love it. Like, I get people, they're like, they can't wait for it. And then people that are like, there's no way you can get me on that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
you know.
in a ladder group.
Sadists and
You're in a ladder group?
But
non-sadists.
we do a lot of.
You guys do a
air
lot
bike
on the
side,
bike, though.
and I hate the air bike.
Well, also like with the strong stuff, you're never gonna touch that unless you do the strong
No,
stuff.
No,
You know.
And same thing like in motor with the endurance class.
Yeah.
Like I get to put people on the ski erg, which I can't normally use in normal programming. So it kind of opens up doors where a lot of times I can't use that gear because we have too many people in class. But like that class is jamming all the time, and people love it, and we have a great time in there. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Page's row and flow too.
Dude, row and flow.
I know
is
that's
like-
not what
I
it's
feel
called.
no, that's it. It's
No,
row
it's
and
not
flow.
called like Page's row and flow.
Oh,
but
no,
yeah,
but-
you know, but that's always you know.
That class has gotten bigger and bigger, and it's so cool because we love the concept of fusing yoga with rowing, and like, you know, there's so many benefits to that we're kind of looking more in that direction of what else, you know, in the specialty classes could we fuse in to try and get people more healthy. But I mean, to be able to take people through, you know, half of the workout or half the time is workout, half the time is yoga. And this week she did something cool. She took people all the way down the tunnel.
Yeah.
I saw the picture.
And she shut the lights off and everything because, like, down this end, apparently I'm too loud. So she took everybody down there, and she said it was so much better. So, you know, that's cool too, being able to do that stuff. But, you know, that's the rowing, that's the bike, the motor class. It's like you said with the strong and everything. Like today, by the way, it was all girls. Not one guy came to strong today, so that was kind of crazy. It was like 10 girls and no guys. So I think the guys are scared of but like it's funny because you hear strong class and like, you know,
Yeah,
a lot of times like you think like the guys are going to dominate. The girls take over in that class
Yeah.
and they
They
kick
have it.
ass.
Lift too. I mean,
Oh,
to
dude,
be honest,
they kick ass and they
Wonder
work
Woman.
their asses off.
Yeah.
So it's like they're sitting here like flipping tires, pulling sleds, like just killing it. And I'm like, all the guys are scared. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, good.
step up your game,
Good to
boys.
have- yeah,
Let's go.
that's what I'm
Justin.
saying.
I know.
Wearing
And
tights
so
over
I'd
here.
say,
I've done the strong.
Every once in a
class
while,
twice, and it's been a
yeah,
lot of
you've
fun.
come to strong, and
I've gotten
every once in a while
yeah.
he's come to
If
strong.
I get a good week,
When I can.
yeah, I've been busy. So first,
Yeah, well, you guys are
The
first
jamming.
priority is getting in some
The lift-
regular classes.
The
and
lift
then-
program
Yeah.
was really big for me too because I did it like when it was when it first started, before we had the
Yeah.
specialty classes,
Yep.
and I was able to still do it because it fit into my schedule, and I feel like that alone improved my Olympic lifting
yeah.
by leaps
Oh
and
yeah,
bounds.
Yeah.
Well, that's the cool part of like that because it's not like a workout per se. It's like it's an hour of just instruction.
That's the hardest thing. Well, because you coach Wednesdays.
Yeah, and then you do
I
Saturday.
do Saturdays. And then you could tell the people that like lifting.
Yeah.
And then the people that are CrossFitters and lift.
Yeah,
'cause
totally.
They like the speed. They speed.
Oh,
up.
you gotta slow
Sit
people down. Yeah.
But I mean, that's what we train them for, and that's why.
It's so funny when you tell somebody get a chair out and sit down.
Yeah.
Like I make people get benches
sit
out.
up, slow. I'm like you'll see like the people that are like lifting like will be like 10 sets behind
yeah.
the people that are CrossFitters.
They're like whoa, 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 whoa. I was like whoa, 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 whoa.
And
whoa.
I like both. I like lifting and I
course.
like lifting with CrossFit.
Well, that's the thing is like, but
I slow it down.
you got to slow down. Like in lift, in that class, like the biggest benefit of it is taking all the intensity out and just making it about the lifting for that
and
time.
Getting a little bit, you work up slowly, lightweight to a little bit of weight, and you could check. You start seeing like what's
Virtuosity.
wrong. Yeah, check the
Virtuosity.
boxes going down.
Check it out.
But don't you think the people that get used to that become not addicted to it, but become really interested in
Yeah,
watching the
there's-
tape and
totally.
going through the progressions?
For a CrossFitter that takes the classes, we do a lot of lifting.
Yeah.
But we do with like lightweight barbell in the warm up, and then we do it for the workout. So you have to lift for time.
Yeah.
With the Olympic classes, you could really slow it down, and I think it's the best thing to get people.
You could
changing.
fix things.
You could fix it.
Yeah.
And it only takes. It takes a long time to make it really refined, but just a little bit. You can.
He's
see
no lemon.
Major.
Dude, this
progress.
See,
guy,
I'm telling you,
this guy
he's
talking
not
about
lying.
changing his lifting is blowing my mind right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Right?
I've changed a
Please.
lot throughout the years.
Yeah, you have. I know.
I'm stubborn now, but
Kicking and screaming, but he has changed.
I've changed a lot.
And
so
you know what's
proud.
cool, like Justin was saying, is by doing those, slowing that down, when you take that into a regular workout, people lift better.
Yeah.
So are they going to be the same? No, but the format's going to be there. So I can say to somebody, hey, keep your hips down. And if they come to lift, they're like, oh, I know what you mean. But like in a regular workout, keeping your hips down, like that doesn't necessarily make sense always unless I give a visual, and then it takes a little more to cue it out.
Yeah.
But if you come to lift and I'm like, hey, your chest isn't up, they're like, oh, okay, cool, no problem. Knuckles down, like easy things like that. So it kind of ties together.
Yeah.
And what I like is like some of the newer people that come in, they don't know clean and jerk, they don't know snatch, but they're good at bench and deadlift and things from like a more global gym. It's a whole different animal, man. Like you could lift weights your whole life, but if you don't do Olympic lifts, it's entirely different.
We've
lifting.
seen that so many times.
Oh,
People
yeah.
just come here who are strong AF.
They're too strong.
and they just
Good
get
sensor.
get
Facts.
demolished by a snatch.
Yes. Whoop.
Me and you.
Blows their mind because they're like, this doesn't make sense to me. I can bench this. I can back squat this. Why can't I snatch this?
Yeah,
It's
like a muscle snatch is like they can muscle snatch more than they can squat.
Oh
snatch.
yeah.
Like,
Well, we just talked about that. Is that people that can power snatch or power clean more than what they can clean, and they're like, "Is that okay?" And I'm always like, "No, no, that's not okay. That's something. There's something wrong."
Gave me the choice between a squat or a power. I'm squatting every time.
I know.
and I used to like warm up with power, like when I would lift,
Yeah.
power, and then when it got heavy, I would squat, and I'd squat from like slow it down, squat.
Yeah.
Like
It's a big deal getting under the bar.
because I know once I hit a certain percentage, I can't power anymore. So like, why even train it? While
Yeah. But you get comfortable being uncomfortable. That was a huge motto at the beginning of our competitive
100%.
training. You know?
You have to be.
like the-
If you're not getting under the bar, you're just working too hard.
No,
I
it's
remember
crazy.
I remember how scary it was dropping under a good amount of weight. Like when you first start, like it was scary. But then once you understand, like this is the safest place that you can be, and it's so much easier. Like, oh, I have to move less. Yeah,
And as you
of course.
do, I remember being petrified at 200 pounds. Like, I mean, that's still a lot of weight, but not like proportionally anymore. But I remember the feeling like, oh my
I
God,
remember
my head
300
shaking.
used to really scare me. Now,
No, but it, like,
Yeah, this
200
lemon
like,
is just like crushing my 1 RMs right now.
I
you know?
remember like 200. Like I
Yeah.
remember being like, oh, that's like 200. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Like I remember shaking.
Yeah, and that's- and
but you get it.
everybody goes through that, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
tear.
I remember not being able to power clean like 165 and 175.
Crazy.
Like a hang.
It's nuts.
Couldn't do it. It was just like, yeah, it was like, oh,
It takes repetition, it takes practice, and when you do lift, it's slow, and you
Yeah,
don't have to. You're
totally.
not rushed to.
We
get-
can do more as coaches. We can address things better.
and you could do more as an athlete too,
Yeah.
slowing it
The
down.
big thing is
100%.
people can't be intimidated by the classes because they see people like throwing
Yeah,
around
that
decent
are-
amount of weight and stuff like that. Just go.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Well,
I
same
think-
thing like with motor and everything. Like a lot of times, like people are like, "Oh, I don't want to go to that. Who wants to be on?" And then they go one time, and they're like, "This is so cool." And it's like, you know what? I love the barbell, and I have a hard time not working with the barbell. But like when I do something like that, I'm like, "Oh man, this is like I needed to do this." And that's like what I find the coolest part now is people will come in and they're like, "You know what? Today my shoulders are a little beat up. Whatever. I'm gonna go do motor." Right?
Yeah.
Hey, cool. Go
Just
hit
run
it. Like
I just gotta get motor.
that's the coolest part is like now people can customize their training, but some people still aren't taking advantage of it. So like, you know, I
That's
really
crazy.
want that to happen.
No, it's constantly varied, but
Yeah.
just on a like
different
coming
level.
about it a different way.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Yeah.
with like,
I just thought of something backtracking a little bit.
Going
Yeah.
back to
About-
lemons?
No, about the Murph thing because we were talking about the workouts and not being intimidated and stuff like that. About the training thing, just if you see something that kind of pertains to Murph and you're like, man, I'm not really good at pull-ups, don't hide from that workout.
No. And I mean, you guys have all heard me say that a million times. Like the biggest thing you need to attack is the thing you hate the most.
Yeah.
So like when you see a workout and you're like, I'm definitely not going, there's a reason why you don't want to go.
Yeah.
and like the intimidation factor, like I think
Of course.
you could see other people in different skill sets, like like that can be a little aggressive, including myself. But you should. I mean, people shouldn't.
He's
be
an aggressive lemon.
People shouldn't be intimidated by. Like, if I came in and I saw some of the things I was doing, I'd run.
Yeah, of course.
Run away. But like the people here, if you're working towards anything and you're trying and you have a good attitude, because I don't like. Everyone's looking to help. Like no one cares.
Oh, yeah.
Different skill
Yeah,
levels.
well, that's the funny
You
thing
shouldn't
is-
be intimidated if you're not great at something.
Everybody thinks everybody's being
No
looked
one's
at too,
judging
right?
you.
Nobody's looking
I'm-
at anybody.
Exactly. And
No.
if they are, they're gone. They're
Yes.
long gone because
Yes.
there's not
Totally.
because we don't want that people. This isn't.
No.
I'm too busy
Like,
trying not
If
to
I'm
piss
If I'm
myself.
coaching you and then like at the beginning
How's
of the
that working?
workout,
And people like, I looked up, like, no, you don't.
Meds on
Like,
meds.
you're here, you're trying. If
Yeah.
you're trying and you're not, if you're here, that's it. I mean,
That's the coolest part of our gym is like everybody gives 100% respect for day one or day 1,000,001 of just as long as everybody works hard, they're honest, and they're cool. Like you just
Yeah.
have to be nice. And we have like the best group I think we've ever had in all the years we've been around. That like we have the biggest, we're the biggest we've ever been, and we have the most welcoming group I think we've ever had, where everybody's cool.
Yeah.
and if
like
you don't,
I love coaching the classes, like starting at the beginning of the class, like somebody that's relatively new, if they don't have something and then they get that much closer or get that thing, that's like one of the biggest things. Like I feel like it's like
Oh, dude, that
it's
fires
bigger
me
than
up.
like if I was to get like a 300-pound
Oh,
clean.
man.
Like seeing
Yeah.
something
Getting
like that happen.
The longer you
throwing
do
a
this,
double under
it's-
consecutively is
oh.
like my biggest thrill.
the longer you coach, the more you get fired up for other people. I used to like work my ass off to be like, I want this, I want that, and I would just stay until I would get these numbers.
Yeah.
But like it would never. It's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to post it on Instagram? Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't know what to do with it. I high five. Paige is happy for me. She give me a high five, but like I can't tell anybody else. Like maybe I'll tell you guys, but it's like I don't advertise. But when somebody else gets something, I could tell everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
utilitarian.
So it's like I love that. Like that
Good for the
fires
best
me up
of
so much more. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's that way for you guys too. Is it's like it's really cool when we accomplish stuff and we all are happy for each other. But as coaches, the payoff is so
Yeah.
much bigger when somebody else does something.
Like
just to
seeing the
see-
look
yeah.
on their face is just like,
Dude.
they didn't think that they could do it, and then they did it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and that's why you guys all coach here too. Is it's there's and we've had this talk before, and I'm not going to get into it now because it's probably a whole nother episode. Is how some people coach for the wrong reason, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
and all of our coaches coach for the right reason, but there are coaches out there, I'm sure, probably at other gyms that are more concerned with their own fitness and their own, social media feed than there are with their athletes.
Well, you
And
can even say that they're wrong, like, oh, I got Kyle a muscle up.
Yeah,
It's like, you
totally.
had nothing to
No,
do with it.
no.
You know what I mean? You
No,
could be
totally.
happy for someone, but it's the person's
It's
decision.
the person doing the work.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
It's not, and like we're there to help, but in the end, it's the person. Like we said in the beginning, like if you put in the work and you put in the effort, and if you get that accomplishment, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not me. I could be
Yeah.
happy as can be about it, but that's not me. I mean, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I got to sit here and do nothing.
I'd say that all the time.
Give some advice,
Yeah.
It's
I just
like-
yelled at you guys
Yeah,
for 45
it's cool,
minutes. It's all
but
good.
I mean, that's on the athlete, which is really cool.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank you all for doing this, but I want to wrap it up by asking you each a question.
Oh, no. Is this going to be the
Individual
same one?
questions or
Is this
one
coming
No,
back?
no, it's a different question.
All right.
So I want you to go around and just tell me one thing that most people don't know about you.
Oh, fuck.
What?
One thing most people don't know about you.
Oh my god.
And there's a time limit. 3.
I
Come on, man.
don't know
There's a
about
lot people don't know about you. And if you want me to share what people don't know about you, I would be happy to, but I think you'd rather do it yourself.
Because I can't say anything about cats because y'all know that already.
I
So.
saw a shirt when I was in Disney. It said "Cat Dad,"
Yeah.
and I wanted to get it for you so bad.
I'd have
It was
paid
just
you back.
huge letters, "Cat Dad."
Cat Daddy?
No, it's just "Cat Dad."
Oh,
right?
it could be relevant to CrossFit, right?
It could be anything. But one thing that I mean, you're talking to
I don't like coming in for benchmarks.
really.
I don't like it. So if you don't see me, I don't like it.
Why?
Cause I'd still get weird about it. I don't.
So do you get butterflies at all?
It's not butterfly. It's like I'm like if I mess this up,
Oh, so there's pressure on you because
it's only pressure from myself.
no, I get that. Well,
But
I mean, yeah.
Like I overcompensated by being like really like silly and
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah.
But like I don't like it.
So you don't like it.
I don't like
but
it.
what do you do?
I do it.
But you show up.
I hate
anyway.
it, but I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do okay.
All right,
sometimes.
Justin. What about you? He's so mad at me right now.
He's like, Dave,
he's like more mad about the lemon.
No,
or is he more mad?
he's angry at
just
me because
took
I
it.
did something real. He's like, oh shit, I was gonna say I don't like pork rinds. You know, so I'm like,
Say it like mushrooms.
yeah, exactly. I knew he was gonna cop out.
I
I'm
like
just,
your texture.
I'm gonna back this away and let you take the floor. Dog.
So what do you got? What, Justin? One thing.
I don't know.
Come on,
He's
man.
gonna make us pick for it.
We will. I mean, we all have. So
Don't know about you. You ever? Do people know? Anyone ever see your feet before?
Yeah, no, I don't. This is always my go-to. Is that bent
you all
pinkies.
getting it? Bent pinkies. Okay.
Did not
This
even
really
work.
this is your go-to is your bent pinky.
Sorry.
You're digging real deep.
Didn't you
there,
have
aren't
like that joke that you needed for an interview or something, right?
Yeah, how about you?
Okay, but you need to know something about yourself that other people don't know.
This is awesome. This is the lemon
Well,
moment.
I always go. My,
The pinkies, really? There's so many more things about you.
Like what?
What about what's your background? What do you do? What do you love to do outside of the gym? All right. Do you do anything with plants or anything? Do you have any kind of degree? It's like
That sounded so bad. That's awesome. Yeah.
Like the
what's your background?
He's a
I mean,
botanist,
do you
yeah.
have a background in anything or? Man, he's hard, right?
I was born in the darkness. You were
All right,
simply
Kyle.
raised.
What do you got?
You're great.
Anything?
There's well, I feel like most people knew that I've done hair in the past.
Not
Yeah.
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
No,
It's a good one.
that's a very
Or
good
I don't
one.
know if I like the thing that we talked about on your podcast.
What?
The heart thing.
Yeah,
I feel like that's more
Most people
CrossFit.
don't know that about you.
Especially
either.
people in the
lot of
gym
people
see you
don't.
slay and stuff.
I
They
feel
don't
like
know that.
that's more CrossFit related.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Well, tell us about the heart thing.
so. Right before Clover was born, I went to the hospital because I was experiencing chest tightness, and I come to find out that I have one artery that was blocked 95%, another one that was blocked 90, another one that was like 85, and then another one that was 70.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So I currently am rocking 3 coronary stents from that.
Is that crazy?
And
It's nuts.
I mean, it's no pinky, but it's pretty amazing.
so, but what drove me to
I was listening about.
didn't get it. All right, go ahead.
what drove me to do that was, or to go to the hospital was the fact that I was having a child.
Yeah.
But, while I was there, it was just like the plumbing's crappy.
Yeah.
But the heart was strong, and I feel like if I wasn't doing CrossFit, like 2 to 3 weeks prior to going in the hospital, I did a rugged maniac.
Oh, Lord.
So
That's crazy.
I feel like if I wasn't doing CrossFit, I don't know if I would. Not to be morbid, but I don't know if I would necessarily be
Yeah,
here.
no,
Yeah.
no.
And
Damn.
you know that it made me reevaluate things, and it messed
That's
with
real.
me, and I had a lot of. Had a lot of issues like trying to just cope with life and everything like that, and I got myself back together, and I missed CrossFit for a year because I was afraid to go back.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this
who
goes
wouldn't
back
be?
to being afraid or being intimidated. and I just, I found you guys. I came in, I met Ashley, and then I spoke to Paige. I let you guys know what was going on with me.
I remember.
And you guys were super accommodating. The workouts were good. You were always checking in on me. And then I felt like you guys started to like, all right, he's good. We're going to kind of let him do his thing. And then
it's crazy.
Just progress. And that's all I do.
And then fast forward today, hang snatch 205. Like, no big deal.
It's like, and he's like, oh, I don't know if I should go for it. I'm like, yep, go for it.
But yeah, that's not a lot of people know that about me, especially because I wasn't.
You want to change your answer?
No, he doesn't. He wants to be a dark and mysterious lemon for the rest of his life.
There's more to Justin than pinkies. There's more than pinkies, all right? I swear there's more.
Oh, man, he cracks under pressure. I love it.
God, it's really, I thought I was just, like teeing him up, too. I thought, like, you
For what? I have no, like, special...
I am nothing. I'm nothing.
That's not true. You're very interesting. There's a lot more to you than pinkies, calves, and feet.
Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, he's a twin.
He's a twin?
People probably don't know that.
But yeah, but twin and that's what I was going to say. I have 3 sets of twins in my family.
People don't know that.
Jeff and Barb's got a lot of kids.
Wow. See that?
She has a lot of twins. So.
Yeah, okay, there you go. That was a little bit better.
That was better.
Right?
The pinkies are more interesting.
No, the twin is more interesting.
Nobody, put them away.
Guess what? My twin brother has these pinkies. My little twin brothers have these pinkies, and my dad has these pinkies.
So it's genetic.
I don't know anyone else who has it.
I've never seen him.
What about the calf?
No.
And my right calf is 2 inches bigger than my left calf.
Are you the only one?
Yeah, I'm the only one with that.
You're welcome.
So I'm like a one-legged duck that swims in circles.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
I know.
That made everything worth it right there. We could just stop there because I feel like there's really nothing after that.
And moment.
Thank the one-legged duck who swims in a circle.
Yeah, thanks, Ducky.
I want to thank you guys very much for giving me some time. I know you're all super busy, but coming in and doing this is huge, and I hope everybody enjoys it. And Murph's around the corner. We have a lot of other cool stuff on tap for the summer that I'm looking forward to. I'm going to keep that hush-hush for now, but some things that are going to be a lot of fun for the gym. And if anybody needs help on any of that stuff, can they talk to you guys? Like on Murph or anything? All right, cool.
Always.
So if you guys have questions about Murph or you don't know what it's about or you're confused or you're hesitant, talk to these guys, show up, have a good time, bring your friends, bring your family. We'll make it a great time.
Definitely.
All right? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a good day, guys. Later. Pinkies.
Bending barbells and pinkies.